Duck, the Great Western Engine, was one of my favorite characters in the Thomas series when I was a kid. While I primarily model American-centric railroading in O-scale using many of Lionel's offerings, when I began my modeling journey long ago, I always wanted to make a model of Duck. He's a character that means a lot to me. Hell, I even was him for a while in an official Mattel-created award-winning online series, the Thomas Creator Collective. Duck is cool. He and I, we have a history. Past modeling attempts, if you'll even call them that, were abysmal on my part. But through the years, I've learned quite a lot, and so we are taking a step back all the way to 2023 when I accomplished my goal, making an O-scale Duck. When I was younger and stupider, I had made an O-scale Gordon, which really took people by surprise. Looking back, I hate it. There's 100 different things I would do differently, but at the time, it was my most ambitious custom model. I'm still proud of it in some regard, but it's far from my finest work. In order to improve, you need to try. And what I learned while making Gordon, I wanted to rectify with Duck. Years ago, I purchased an O-gauge shell for a ridiculously low price, which was highly detailed, and promptly did nothing with it. It kinda sat on the back burner until the summer of 2023 when local Icon, the train modeler, put in my hands a Hornby 00 version of Duck. Hornby's rendition was made in the 80s and is not super accurate to the version of Duck a child would see on the TV screen. But it does have a very unique, what if Duck were more realistic kind of charm to it. This is absolutely because Hornby just repainted a pannier tank model they already had and slapped a face on it. It's lazy, but I can't deny that it looks nice. It scratches this itch I have for my stupid Thomas models having some semblance of believability to them. So instead of trying to shake the ground and try something new, I figured I'd play it safe and make my O-gauge Duck as close to this vintage Hornby version as possible, or to the best of my limited ability. While the body shell soaked in cleaner for a while to remove the paint and glue stains from the previous owner, I decided to spare myself and not try and fit this to an ugly Lionel chassis, and just rely on European offerings instead. Thus, an old Lima chassis from a Fowler class was utilized instead. Is it 3-rail? No. But can I still run it on my 3-rail track and just use a different control system? Yes. This part was not done without work, however. The chassis had to be cut down mildly, and I actually had to cut into the all-die-cast running board. This sucked. A project I couldn't have completed without my friends. It was Thomas the Tankman 111 who insisted I use every modeler's preferred paint brand, Tamiya. I won't take credit for all the work. He showed me how to properly spray paint, short little bursts, no runny paint. He did the primer for me while I was trusted to complete the green. We opted for TS22 light green. I actually had to bring out the Hornby Duck into a hobby shop just to see how close I could get the color to match. After painting, I found that this face from an old toy of Duck from the 90s looked great and fit perfectly. But before I could work on that, Duck needed his sandboxes. It was around this time my crappy 3D printer crapped out on me, and as such, I had to get creative. A small wooden block or boxes made of paper were all viable options, but not preferable. I was at my job one day when in a box of little STEM toys I saw some Lego blocks. And I stole them. I brought them home, sanded them down, and they were the perfect size. It was honestly amazing. Rather than spraying again, I decided to simply hand paint, taking my time to color match my custom mix to the TS22 color. I think I did decent. Alright, now back to the face. Arguably the most important part of a Thomas-themed model. My O-gauge Duck was looking closer and closer to the 00 Hornby counterpart, and in order to really lean into that, I had to repaint the face to look like this. He's so shifty, he's giving the side eye. The side profile is so stupid looking. The Hornby Duck has an incredibly dark gray face. place it next to any other 00 offerings of Thomas and his Technicolor train buddies, and he's always the odd one out in terms of color. But, bold take here. I prefer the dark gray faces. Hornby's earliest models of Thomas characters all shared this dark gray color, and personally, I just don't like the shiny, off-white, plastic-looking faces. I hate how they all look like fiberglass faces on a real train. It's chintzy, in my opinion. And while you could argue the dark gray isn't entirely accurate, I just happen to like it. So if that's a problem, go ahead and make your own model. I'm not going to stop you, but I'm going to make mine the way I want. Thank you, thank you. Everything's looking good to me, so now it's time for Bestie to head to the tracks. Alright squad, there's my funny little video on making duck in O-scale. I'm by no means the first to do this, and I'm still not convinced it's all that impressive. But for the first time after my previous failed attempts, I am genuinely content with what I've created. At the end of the day, so long as you get enjoyment looking at the model you made, then that's all that matters. This is the internet. There's always going to be incels who are chronically online saying your model is trash because it's 32% less orange than it's supposed to be, or some stupid thing like that, but do things for you. I'm very happy to place this next to the other stupid little train vermin in my collection. Hopefully you found the slightest bit of enjoyment from this video. It was nice to make it. But that's my bit, and I'm off. Catch you next time. And thanks for watching.